Hey everybody, good morning. It is about 10:30 in the morning. It's the 4th of February 2021. I'm going to quickly go through a whole bunch of different things here. I'm going to take a look at the S&P. I'm going to take a look at Nasdaq. I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and I'm going to try and go through some of the big gainers on alts. So I'm going to take a look at DOGE, UNI. I'm probably going to take a look at Polkadot and maybe some others as well. If there's anything in particular you want me to take a look at, you can throw a comment in the YouTube chat. I will be watching that. So if there's anything you want me to look at, just throw a comment out there. I'll be more than happy to take a look at it. Before I get into any of this, of course, as you all know, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research. I'm just giving my opinion on the market. So let's go ahead and drive in and take a look at the charts. Okay, so again, I'm starting with the S&P 500, and as I'm going through this, if you need access to our Discord server, if you don't have access, there's a link in the video description. There's also a QR code on your screen for you to get access. So I'll just kind of be mentioning that every now and again for those that are joining midstream. So from this. What I was looking at, overnight, watching this formation, I do have a bit of a bearish bias on this, but this is kind of like my alternate, which looks like it is currently working out. For us to be making a move potentially to get up here to a new high, potentially at 38.75, it's very possible that we can make our way up here, which is why, it's very important to realize that if you're going to have a bearish stance on anything, you need to know when you're wrong, okay? And for right now, really the level that I'm wrong is if we violate this high up here at 38.6225 on the ES chart. Taking a look at our indicator, we did look like we were topping out a bit. This was, right back here, it looked like we were topping out. Even looked like we created a little bit of an ending diagonal up here where we've got this guy that kind of looked like it was finishing a move, and I would say that we can all agree that a move did finish up here, and we had a little bit of a sell-off. It was not as much as I was expecting, and I am still expecting more, but in the meantime, we could very, very easily have an expanded flat. If we have an expanded flat, we would expect, measuring again from the top to the bottom, for us to be going up to the 382. So let's go ahead and throw in our 1.382 on here. There's 1.382. Let's also put the 1.236 on here, 236. Put that on here. So for an expanded flat, it is still very, very possible that we could see this moving itself up here to 39.45 before we fall, right? So this is still a possibility, right? If this is a 1, 2, 3, this looks compressionary here, potentially putting in the 4, we would be able to see this guy going up here, which that would still indicate, just keep in mind, that would still indicate that we would be in potentially an A and then a B and then going down for the C for an expanded flat, potentially coming right back down here to where we were. Maybe we don't see 360. Like I was really expecting us to see 360. If this is a trap and we sell off today and tomorrow and we don't make ourselves violate these highs here at 38.62, I can see us going down to that 360 target. But if we do break this high and we make it to our expansion targets for an expanded flat scenario, then I no longer see 360 on the table, and I see potentially a move back down here to 365, maybe down to 370. We'll have to wait and see how high we go if we violate this, right? So I would still say that we are in a corrective move on the S&P. But it really depends on how high we go before we can determine how low we're going to go. This, again, could have been seen as a trap. I'm still in some UVXY calls, although my UVXY equity was stopped out at the open, which reasonably so. So that's kind of what I'm seeing right here. We've got our level of invalidation for a bearish scenario, which would be at a violation of 38.6225. Then we'll be looking up here for more than likely the 1382, which is going to be a 39.45. Up there is where I'm going to be looking next for rejection. But for now, equity is doing okay. So that seems to be doing all right so far. Let's take a look at NQ. see what NQ looks like, because I think, you know, algorithmically, I think that that Nasdaq does look a little bit better. All right, so from here, Nasdaq is selling off while the S&P is still kind of remaining strong. So Nasdaq sold off at the open, and the S&P actually pushed up at the open. But looking at this, you know, I can't help but see what we've got going on right here as, and I'm going to have to change the degree on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so let me just change the degree on this guy because this is going to be a low degree. So we've got, you know, a candidate for 5 waves down. If we don't have 5 waves down, although that does make sense, what we also can see here is a nice correction. So from up here, an A, a B, and a C. So what would we have off of that? Well, we would have another correction to the upside. Let me go to a 5-minute here, and let's just dive into this here for a moment. So again, from the top, we have let's see here, A, B, C into the A, B, C into the B, A, B, C into the C. So far, this makes a whole lot of sense. It makes a whole lot of sense. Let's just go ahead and measure this guy. This is the reason why I go to the 5-minute time frame. From the bottom to the top there, where did we go? We went to the 618. Potentially, Nasdaq has bottomed for the day, and we would be seeing a move up to maybe 13.5. All right, so again, this could be seen as an A, a B, and then we go up for the C to finish that move. Now, what I can see off of that not only is that negative 236 extension, but it also matches where our target would be for a support and resistance flip right here. All right, so right there at 13.5 is possible where this guy goes. Let's also measure from the top to the bottom and see where this takes us. All right, because keep in mind, what we're working on here is a complex A, B, then we go down for the C. Is Nasdaq going to be weaker than the S&P? I've seen many cases where it has been, but I've also seen many cases where it's been stronger. But again, let's just go ahead and measure this guy. We're going to take our fib tool. We're going to measure. Let me move this out of the way. Measure from the top. I'm going to peg it up to the top. Take this guy to the bottom. All right. We've got our 618 right here. I'm on log scale. Even if I get off of log scale and I'm in arithmetic, it's still about the same. It's only about 50 cents difference. Let me take off that 887. Let's put the 786 on here. So we're going to put that there. So are we going to make it up here to this target? We might not. We might not. And if we do, it's probably going to make its way up here to 13,530. One way or another, this area up here is where I would be looking for rejection. Nasdaq has been looking weaker, but it has been also looking more technical than the S&P has. David, I will definitely take a look at XLM. I'll take a look at lumens, no problem there. If we see that, let me just take a look at one more thing here. Trend-based fib extension. We're going to take a look from this guy to the top, and we're going to get the pullback. And our 100 is also sitting right there. So really high confluence that Nasdaq is going to reject at that level. Okay, and from there, we'll be taking a look on the flip side. Let's just say for a moment that it does reject up there. We're going to measure this guy here. We're going to take it to our pullback target. Let's say we get it right there. Let's say we get it perfect. We're still, even in this scenario, looking for a move down here to 13,278, 13,288. This is where I think we're going to be heading, more than likely. We see a move up, but then we have this move down before we see a continuation to the upside. It's going to take some time. I'm on a 5-minute chart. This is not going to happen today. Timing is off here, but I think the price action is more than likely going to be accurate. So we're going to wait for this guy to go up, back up here to 13,516. Then we'll take a look at maybe getting into some SQQQ, some conservative short positions, and then be able to take a stop loss up here while remaining in our equity position. So that SQQQ, or maybe any puts you might be getting, would be a hedge against your long position. So if the market does go against us, we're going to be limiting our losses. One way or another, I would wait until you get up here before you decide to take any harsh short positions. But ultimately, if we find ourselves down here, this is going to be where I'm going to be looking to really load up on some long positions when we find our way down here. I'm going to go ahead and set an alert right there at 13,285. We'll go ahead and set the alert there. We're going to keep an eye on him. All right, let's move to Bitcoin. BTC USD. All right, so we've been watching this guy for a while, and Bitcoin has been selling off, as I said it would, short term. Okay, so I posted this out on Twitter a while back. Actually, it was earlier today. It hasn't been too long. So I was posting a wide view on where I think Bitcoin could go. Ultimately, we can't violate 30,000. If this bullish scenario is going to be intact, we cannot violate 30,000. All right, Bitcoin is pulling back. I've been waiting for this guy to come back here to the 618, right? So it found support here at this 618. It was really great. Are we going to get the 618 again? So again, I'm measuring from this low here to this high here. The 618 is right there. If that breaks, we're going to go to the 786, which is going to be at about 33,600. The 618 right now is sitting at 34,700. All right. So looking between 33,600 and 34,700, it's an $1,100 window to potentially layer some buys. All right. Are we going to get down here? Maybe we won't. But this looks a whole lot like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to me. All right. Am I going to be wrong? Is this really a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, A, B, C into the 4? Is the 4 in and we're just going to keep going up from here? That is very possible. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on alts. I'm bullish on Ethereum. But you have to realize that the markets do pull back. So you just have to try and get a really good entry. So that way, when the market does pull back, you're not caught with your pants down. You've got a good trade setup, right? Would I buy Bitcoin right here? No, I don't see a good trade setup here. I see us pulling back a little bit, all right? At least for a few more hours. I would wait. I would wait and see. Let's take a look at Ethereum versus the dollar. Ethereum versus the dollar. Again, it's pulling back. It's on the hourly chart. It's pulling back. I would say it's probably going to retest this guy right here. I mean, this is what everybody and their mother was talking about on Twitter. So let's just point this out here for a moment. All right. With the exception of this wick down here, we had this ascending wedge. Okay. It was just perfect. All right. What we don't want to see. Let me get my drawing tool out here. Well, okay, let's say what we do want to see. We want to see a retest and then we move up higher. What we don't want to see, we don't want to see this guy break down here because that is a sign for very, very bad things to come. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but we have basically a like a green scenario, which is what we want to see. This is the bullish scenario. This would also support Bitcoin moving back to that 618 or the 786. All right. This right here would support Bitcoin breaking 30,000. If Ethereum breaks down below this level at 1440, that is not good. I still think Ethereum can get to 2,800, 3,200, probably by June. I think it's going to take time. The market's going to chop there, which is what the market does. It does that to get you psychologically thinking you're wrong when in fact you potentially are right. All right. But this is what I'm looking at. This would be a healthy pullback. This would not be. Breaking this trend line would be very, very bad. So we don't want that to happen. It's very simple. It's very simple. The indicators are saying sell, right? We had our buy signal right back here, okay? Our buy signal we had right here. We had prior buy signals here and here. We had another buy signal literally right here at the bottom. Our buy signal before that was right here. Every time in a bull market, every time we get a buy signal, it has been a fantastic entry, all right? There is no buy signal right now. This is basically saying you hold or you sell. You hold or you take profit. I would wait, honestly, I would wait for another buy signal, and maybe it happens here. We don't know because it hasn't gotten there yet, okay? We may not get another buy signal for a while, but this is what we're looking at, the indicator, which, by the way, for those of you joining, if you need access to our Discord, there's a link in the video description. We'd love to have you there, and you can get more information on how to get the our indicator that I use in all of my trading. All right, let's keep on going. We're gonna plug through this. So let's go ahead and start with XLM USDT. What does lumens look like? Lumens, we've been holding this for a while, or at least I have been in my crypto account. Again, same thing. Buy signal came here. We had another small buy signal right here. Another buy signal right here on this. We had another buy signal right, actually it was right down here on the very bottom, you know. The last buy signal was all the way down here at 12.4 cents. All right, so again, buy and it paid, buy and it paid, buy and it paid. This one didn't work, this one did, okay? Doesn't always work, but look at this. Out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of the last 5 buy signals, 4 of them have paid. That's an 80% hit rate. That is not bad. That's not bad. Where do I think Lumens is going to be going from here? Well, I think it's probably going to be going up. We're pretty close to getting another buy signal on Lumens. We're close to getting another buy signal on Lumens. We're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait and see, because it could be that it finds its way all the way back down here to our entry before it moves up. Ultimately, Lumens looks okay. Lumens looks all right. Again, we look like we're going to be getting another buy signal. We're going to have to wait, be patient, wait for the next buy. All right. Hey, how do you know the buy signal? All right, well, on my indicator, when we have the yellow and the green indicator, which I'm not going to explain what it is, but when the yellow and the green are down here, this is generally speaking in a bull market a good place to buy. If you've got the red, the green, and the yellow all down in oversold at the exact same time as we did back here, okay, as we did back here, let's just go ahead and zoom in on this guy. Right here, you had the red, the yellow, and the green all in oversold at the exact same time, and what happened? It went nuts, and you pulled 230% out of that. Okay? Now, obviously, you wouldn't have bought the exact bottom, you wouldn't have sold the exact top, but you had really great opportunity that was there. When the yellow, the green, and the red are all oversold all at the exact same time, that is a recipe for success. I would say 8 times out of 10. 8 times out of 10. Nothing is perfect, but if you follow these, and especially if you get it when all 3 are oversold at the exact same time, it is gold. It is gold most of the time. All right, let's keep on going. Let's take a look at UNI. All right, so UNI looks pretty darn good. All right, so I would say that this is a hold if you're still in. I would say that probably wouldn't be selling, although it does look like we are finishing a move here. So this looks, you know, this actually does kind of look a little bearish right now. It looks like we are finishing a move as we speak. So I would actually be cautious on this. Now, I haven't looked at this in a while. Let me zoom out all the way back to November. Let's see here. Let me just take a look and see where our upside target would be on this guy. So I'm going to measure this from here to this high. We're going to take it to that low, and then we hit our target there. It's still possible for UNI to go to 34, but I got to think that we're going to be getting a pullback, and maybe a pullback back to, you know, even 1550. I would be cautious with UNI, and I would say wait for another buy. Let me see where I can find where all 3 were. Yes, so right here, all 3 were down at the exact same time. So this is the last really solid buy that we had on UNI, and that was all the way back at like 292, and it's gone up almost 10x from there. You had a buy here, you had a buy back here, and the next one was right here, and the next one was right here. So yeah, I mean, this is, yeah. Obviously, we were in bear mode on UNI right here. It was just kind of bleeding, so I wouldn't have bought here just because it would have failed a couple times. If it fails a couple times, I don't get back in. But then after a nice move up and a pullback, I'll take that any day. So I would say wait for that pullback to get back in. But the breakdown, failed retest may be what just happened on UNI. Yeah, that could very well be. That could very well be. Let's keep on going. Let's take a look at sushi. All right, sushi's been doing great. Okay, so I guess the last time I looked at this was right here. So this was way back on January 17th. It looked like we were at the time going to go up and back down. That's exactly what happened. We didn't get down here to the 236, but we got our pullback. All right, so we were looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got our pullback. So working on this wave 3, which we had up here at 23, I still think that's going to happen, right? Because this is a 1, 2, 3 pullback 5. All right, so let me just mark this in here because I still think this is on the cards. All right, so we've got this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, and then we get that 5 to pull in that wave 3. Then we go down for wave 4. We'll have to wait and see how far we go for that. Ultimately, I still believe, based on this impulse 1, pullback for the 2, even taking into account that wick, you know, we're still looking at potentially wave 5 going much, much higher. Now, I think sushi's going to go up to over $100. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see on that. But I still do think that it's going to go up to at least 23. I would target 23 on sushi if you're still in it. Now, again, you know, the buy was right here. The buy was right here. I would, if you are not in, I would still wait for a pullback right now. I can take a look at Chainlink. Yes, I'd be more than happy to take a look at Chainlink. Let's take a look at DOT. DOT versus Tether. So here we go. I had this level as important support because it was prior resistance. So far that is holding up. All right, so this is still looking okay. This still looks okay. This looks like we hit the 3. We're going down for the 4, and potentially that 4 is in. That means we would go up for the 5 next. I would say still not a safe entry, and actually it looks like it wants to pull down harder. So I would be very careful because for this 3, it could be that we have an A, B, C, an expanded flat, as I was kind of discussing on the S&P. So it's possible we have an expanded flat here and we actually do come back down, which would not be too good. But I'm still looking for, you know, that move up to 25. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens there. It doesn't look, I mean, I guess I got to say that because it did do a bullish retest here, that it probably does want to keep moving up. It probably does, and it probably will probably make its way up to 25. But once it gets up there, I would be very, very cautious. You know, some of these alts have really done really great moves. So just you have to be very careful when you have big moves like this and trying to get an entry. I would say if you're going to stop loss, I would stop loss on the other side of 1855, basically on the low that it had when it did that bullish retest. So yeah, I would be pretty careful on DOT because there's a lot of hype around it, and you know, just watch for distribution. All right, let's take a look at Chainlink. All right, Chainlink has been doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and clear this off. Let me clear this off. Take a look at the hourly here for a moment. It looks like it's actually getting pretty close to signaling a buy. It's not quite there yet. It probably will pull back. You know, something that doesn't look all that great. Actually, it doesn't look all that bad because this trend line is kind of holding. But you know, even this one looks similar to a potential rising wedge. I would be careful with Chainlink. If it breaks down below this trend line, I would get out. So right now that's sitting at about 2260. If it breaks down below 2260, I would say that's pretty bad. We're at 2365 right now. Is there a good trade setup? Let's just take a look and see if there's a good trade setup on Chainlink. What's your stop loss? And we're talking crypto, so you know, a 5% stop. What would be our upside target if this did break out? Using the trend-based fib on this, measuring this guy right here and taking ourselves up there, you know, potentially this guy could go up to 33. All right, so we're at 23. I mean, that is a 7.74 to 1 risk-reward ratio, which isn't bad. A 40% gain for a 5.2% loss. It's not terrible. Would I take this trade? No, I wouldn't. I would definitely wait. Let me go to a 4-hour here. Take a look at this guy. From all the way back here, 1, 2. I mean, this is just too bullish. Too bullish. Do I see it going much higher than that? Not at this time. None at this time. Let me take a look at Link versus Bitcoin because this is going to be what really is going to tell me a lot. As you can see, I looked at this a long time ago. It's moved up, so likely that correction is complete. That 4 would be there. This 5 would be here. All right, then off of that, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you know what? This looks okay. So from down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we go up for the 5. Let's just measure this here real quick because this looks really more interesting. So there's a question in that chat. What's a good buy for Ethereum? Hold on just a minute. Let me go back and take a look at that. All right. So more than likely, Chainlink is going to go to 0.001. We came down to the 382 perfectly on this. So I believe that, yeah, actually this looks pretty good. Let me pull up my calculator. So right now, Bitcoin is trading. Let's see here. What is Bitcoin trading at? All right, we're here. Let's just say that Bitcoin's trading at 34,000. 0.001 means that Chainlink will go to $34. If Bitcoin is trading at $34 and Chainlink goes to 0.001, where it looks like it wants to go, then that would mean that Chainlink will be trading at $34. All right, so this is assuming Bitcoin at $34,000, right? All right, so BTC USD, if Bitcoin's at 34,000, which it's at 36,500, all right? Chainlink versus the dollar, where did I have that upper projection? I had the upper projection at 33. All right, will it go up to 35? I mean, I would say that a lot of stars are lining up for Chainlink to make its way up to $33 to $35. All right. All right, so Ethereum. What's a good buy for Ethereum? I mean, right here, I've already talked about it, right here at 1440. That's going to be your best bet. Stop loss if it breaks down below this rising trend line right here, right? I would say a good buy-in for Ethereum if it makes its way down here, right? And it may not come down here. Stop loss, yeah, about right there. Give yourself 5%. Of course, I'm still thinking that Ethereum is going to go up to, let's say, $2,800. That's like 100% profit for a 5% risk. I mean, that's a trade that I would take. But I've been in Ethereum for a while. I've been holding it in my wallet for a long time. And so I think that that's going to be your best bet. And that would mean that Bitcoin is probably going to continue to bleed for a few hours. Give it some time. And of course, you know, on the indicator, we're still trending down. So I would be very cautious buying Ethereum right here because this could be a huge trap as well, right? If this guy goes up and then comes back down, I mean, there is a probability that it is going to bounce right here, but there is probably, I'd say it's probably 60-40, 60% chance it bounces, 40% chance it fails. So I'm not going to just buy here and just hold forever, right? If you were to buy here, you know, you got to keep that stop loss. You got to be careful. All right. I wanted to take a look at Doge as well. So let me just take a look at Doge for a moment, and then I'm going to go ahead and end it. I've been talking for about a half an hour here. So let's just go ahead and clear this off. This is all old. All right. Doge had a buy right here, and this was, what, 2 days ago? Doge also had a buy back here, and that was, of course, on January 30th. All right, so this buy paid out, and this buy currently has paid out. I'm going to measure from the top to the bottom and see where we're at. All right, we did spike through the 618. All right, let me get off of log here for a moment. We got rejected at the 50. You know, are we going to see a major rejection all the way back down here to the mean where we were at, all the way down here below a cent? I mean, shoot, that's very possible. I would be very cautious with Doge right now. Doge did something insane that you know, I didn't expect. You know, I thought that I did really fantastic when I bought all the way back here and I sold over here, and then it went and did that. That was crazy. You know, if there's one thing that I learned in 2018 and 2017 was that when you've got a big move like this, if you got it, you take the profit and you move on. If you didn't get it, don't try and, you know, get the next move. Yeah, it might do it, but I would say probability is it's not going to. We're getting rejection on arithmetic. We're getting rejection at the 50. So I would just be very, very cautious buying Doge right here. It doesn't seem like here is a very smart place to be buying. I would say that if we get a buy signal, then we can probably take that trade and it will probably work out because we're in a bull market. But just because we're in a bull market doesn't mean that assets just continue to move up. Obviously, Doge is moving down right now. So we've got to be very careful. Got to be very careful. That's all I've really got to say about that. You have to be cautious. You have to have an exit strategy. You got to know when you're wrong. And if you don't know when you're wrong, then you probably shouldn't be trading. Because more than likely, you could be making some lucky moves, but if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to lose some money. Could Ethereum dip around 1444 today? It's probably going to be over the next couple days. I would say it's probably going, if it does, it's probably going to happen on maybe tomorrow or Saturday or Sunday. You just have to give it some time because when things correct, the correction usually lasts longer than the impulse. Okay, so Ethereum versus the US dollar. So on this, from this low here to this high here, how long did that take? Let's just go ahead and measure the time that it took from this low to this high. It took 3 days and 1 hour. So I would reasonably expect this correction to last probably at least 3 days. At least 3 days. All right. So we're taking this guy, going out 3 days. There's 3 days, 2 hours. This takes us to February 6th. So this is Saturday. All right. And again, also remember, corrections happen in waves. We could have an A, then it goes up for the B before it goes down for the C. All right. So this is going to take time. You just have to be patient. And ultimately, you're going to wait for a good buy signal. A good buy signal, that's going to be what's going to yield your most profit. And of course, the indicator does give you some hints as when you should be selling. But in a bull market, you know, as you can see, the first sell was right here and it just blew through it and it blew through it and it blew through it, right? In a bull market, the green signals are great for buys. In a bear market, the red signals are great for sells. It's as simple as that. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it for now. Thanks for watching. We've been going for about 30 minutes here. If this video did help you in any way, shape, or form, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. If you need access to our Discord, there's a link in the video description for you to join in. And it has a lot of information on how to get access to the indicator, which I use in all of my trading. And of course, wherever you're in the world, I hope you're having a good day.